Let's say this is a cylindrical conductor like copper having length L. This is the area of cross section of the conductor. So this area is circular, so it is pi r square, and the volume of this conductor is pi r square L, or volume can be written as area into length. Now this conductor contains millions and billions of free charges inside it. Now different conductors have different electron density. In few conductors, free electrons are very crowded, so the electron density is very high. Whereas there are few conductors, the free electrons are apart, so the electron density is less. So electron density can be defined as the number of electrons per unit volume. So we can say that the number of electrons is equal to electron density multiplied by volume. Now here we are talking about number of free electrons. Now each electron has some charge, so the total charge flowing when battery is connected can be obtained by total charge is equal to charge on one electron multiplied by number of electrons. Hence we can say that the total charge, when we connect a battery, the electrons will get drifted in one direction towards the positive terminal of the battery. So the total charge flowing can be written as charge on one electron, that is E, which we know 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19 coulomb, into number of electrons. Number of electrons is N into V, where N is electron density and V is the volume of the conductor. But we know that Q is equals to IT, where Q is the total charge flowing through a conductor in time t, and I is the current flowing through the conductor. So here, putting this value here, we can write Q is equals to IT, which is equals to N E into V. Now consider electrons flowing from this end of the conductor to this end, covering a distance L. So the speed of the electrons, the drift speed of the electrons, is equal to the distance covered divided by time t. Therefore time is equals to L upon V. Now put this value of t in this expression, we get I into L upon V is equals to N E into V. So here this V is the volume, so putting volume is equals to area into length, we can write I into is equals to NE, volume is equals to area into length. So this L gets cancelled, so this drift velocity can be written as V equals to I upon NEA. So V is equals to I upon NEA. This is the required expression for the drift velocity. Now there is one more concept like current density. Current density means the amount of current passing through a unit cross sectional area, and the formula for current density is current upon area. So here we already have current upon area, current per unit area. So if you reply I upon A by J, current density, so we can write drift velocity is equals to J upon N E. So this is the drift velocity in terms of current density. Inside a conductor, there are atoms, there are free electrons. So when a battery is connected to the conductor, the free electrons, they start drifting towards the positive terminal of the battery. So when they move, their path is obstructed by the atoms of the conductor or atoms of the impurity present inside the conductor. So these atoms, they kind of restrict the motion of these electrons. This restriction is called as resistance, and the unit of resistance is ohm, which is denoted by this symbol. The bigger unit of resistance is kilo ohm, which is equal to 10 raised to 3 ohm or 1000 ohm. Sometimes mega ohm is also used. So 1 mega ohm is equal to 10 raised to 6 ohm. Now, the reciprocal of resistance is called as conductance. So conductance is nothing but 1 upon resistance. Its unit is equals to mho or Siemens. Now, there is always a confusion between resistance and resistivity. So let's understand. So let's say there are two wires having same material, same thickness, but this wire is longer. So tell me, which wire will have more resistance? Obviously, this wire, its length is more. So if one electron is flowing in this direction, so it has to overcome more number of atoms to move further. That means in its path, there are more number of atoms. There are more number of atoms to cross. Hence, obviously, this wire will have higher resistance, and this wire will have lesser resistance. So we can conclude that the resistance of a wire depends on its length. More the length, more the resistance. So we can say that the resistance of a given wire is directly proportional to its length. Let's say question 1. Now, let's say there are two wires having same length, same material, but this wire has more cross-sectional area, more thickness, and this wire has less cross-sectional area. They are made up of same material. So tell me, which wire will have less resistance? Yes, this wire is broader. That means the electrons have more area to pass. Hence, electrons will face less obstruction while passing through this wire. To understand this, compare this thing with example of water. A thinner pipe and a thicker pipe. Thicker pipe always has a larger water carrying capacity than thinner pipe. So this wire can carry more number of electrons compared to this wire if same potential difference is applied across it. That means if this wire carries more electrons, it has more current carrying capacity, hence less resistance. So this wire, its area of cross section is more, resistance is less, area of cross section less, resistance is more. So we can say that the resistance of a wire is inversely proportional to its cross sectional area. Expression 2. Now if you combine 1 and 2, we get resistance is directly proportional to L upon A. Now in physics, to remove proportionality sign, we need constant. So here we put constant, which is equals to rho L upon A. So in this expression, this rho is nothing but specific resistance or resistivity. Now this resistivity depends on material and temperature of conductor. So very important, two aluminum wires can have different resistance, but they will always have same specific resistance because their material is same. So you take two wires of same material with different dimensions. Since their material is same, if they are at same temperature, then yes, they will have same specific resistance. If you take two wires, two identical wires of different material, let's say copper and aluminum, they have same dimensions, same temperature, but since their material is different, so they will have different values of specific resistance or resistivity. So this is very important. Now the unit of specific resistance. So from this formula we can say that rho is equals to R A upon L. So its unit is resistance, unit is ohm, area is meter square, length is meter. So its unit is ohm meter. So unit of specific resistance is ohm meter. Now there is something called as conductivity. So conductivity is nothing but nothing but reciprocal of resistivity. So conductivity is 1 upon rho. So formula for conductivity is reciprocal of resistivity, that is L upon Ra. Conductivity, let's take symbol as sigma, and its unit is the reciprocal of ohm, that is mho, and meter inverse. So instead of mho you can use Siemens also. So conductivity is nothing but the reciprocal of resistivity. Let's say there is a pipe which is horizontal. Now if the pressure at this point and pressure at this point is same, the water inside the pipe, will it flow? No, it won't flow. So to make the water flow, we need to tilt the pipe slowly. So if we tilt this pipe, what will happen is, now water will start flowing. So to make the water flow, difference in pressure is required, otherwise water won't flow. So compare this example with the current. So compare water with current. To make the current flow, we need a difference, imbalance. Difference in what? Hello? Yes, difference in potential. That is called as potential difference. And more the difference in potential, more the current. Like this in example, if the difference in pressure is more, water will flow more rapidly. Similarly, in case of current, if potential difference applied is higher, current flowing will also be current will also larger current will flow. So if potential difference is higher, current flowing will also be higher. So the current flowing through a given conductor is directly proportional to the potential difference applied across it. This is a very famous Ohm's law. So to remove this proportionality sign, we need constant. So we can say V is equals to Ri. So here this R is a constant which is called as resistance of conductor. Now for this law there is one condition. Since this resistance is constant, to keep the resistance constant we need to keep everything which can affect resistance. So we all know what are the things they affect the resistance of a conductor. Yes, its length, area of cross section, temperature. So these are the physical states of a conductor, its dimensions. So its physical state should be constant. So this law is applicable only if resistance is constant, and resistance is constant only if the length, area of cross section, material, temperature of the conductor is constant. So this law can be stated as long as the physical state of the conductor is constant, that is if resistance is constant, then the current flowing through this conductor is directly proportional to the potential difference applied across it.